You and me stuck on the ocean now. Nothing but waves and this filling in. I wanna dry up, but you just keep on going, don't you? I don't even know how we got here. All my reasoning have disappeared. I wanna bury the hatchet and find the way back to our home, our home, our home. We don't have to drift inside this dome. I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I wanna pay, and it's not too late. No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that we do not dare. Chasing all that we don't have. Chasing all that we do not dare. We do not all the way back home. Chasing all that we do not dare. Chasing all that we don't have. Chasing all that we do not dare. We do not.
Welcome to the first episode of 13.1. I'll get more into the title of the series later on in the video, but for now I just want to have a little bit of a sit-down talk, kind of going over things that have happened in my life and where I stand currently, and just a lot of different things about me, give you my backstory so y'all can kind of get a feel of who I am more outside of those of you that might be watching from my stream, outside of like the face I put on for streaming and stuff like that, like and even my friends, they don't really know like the real me outside of games and stuff like that, and like they know what I've gone through, but they don't know really how it's impacted me and the effects it's had on me throughout my life. So to run a quick backstory, in 2018 my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma cancer. Our whole family took that pretty hard because like we've never had to deal with anything even close to something like that in our entire lives. We've always been pretty close as a family and all, and it just kind of really hit hard to all of us, and it was so sudden and whatnot. So the next 2 years we actually grew so much closer as a family. It ended up being such a blessing in disguise in reality. We did a lot of family trips and different things like that that just grew our family closer together, and I'm really thankful for that, of course. So I don't really feel like going into an entire discussion about the 2 years that we had with her while her fight with cancer was going on. So we'll just touch on kind of the ending of it and like how it affected myself, and I mean I'm sure it affected everybody in my family differently, but you know, I'm a very private person. I don't really talk much about how I feel and whatnot, so this is kind of me getting out of my comfort zone and doing that for once, for a change, in order to try to better myself. So we'll fast forward to 2021. COVID hit, obviously, at around like the end of March, and I'm actually really thankful for COVID because it shut everything down, and because everything was shut down, I was able to go over to my parents' house every day just about for 4 or 5 months or so, and spent at least probably 5 days a week over there. And at this point my mom was really going downhill. She was really starting to get sick at this point, and it was she lost her hair, you know, she didn't have an appetite, she was losing a ton of weight, and I mean family kept coming down. So like they never really directly told us, my parents that is, they never directly told us, and my mom would always pull us aside and be like, she kept saying like she's still fighting, she's gonna beat it, she'll get through it, don't worry about her. And I really appreciate that, but you could with all the doctor's appointments and the in-home nurse and I mean my dad's expressions and stuff, you could really tell it was coming to a close. We had some family in here. My uncle was down here from Alaska helping out, and my nana, which is my mom's mom, she was here as well. I mean, my dad, he worked so hard, not only with his job, obviously, which he works at Microsoft, so it's a tough job, a lot of hours and stuff, but he also, I mean, that man put so much into that fight. He did everything for her. But, yeah. So, August 12th rolls around. Actually, we'll back up a day. We'll go to August 11th. The NHL playoffs are going on because of COVID. They're delayed or whatnot. And we're giant Carolina Hurricanes fans. Huge fans. They're playing up in the bubble, you know. I think it was in Toronto, I want to say. And there was one stadium that they would play all the games at for each conference. So the East had their stadium and the West had their stadium. And they all shared that one ice rink for the games at least. At least I think that's how it went. And I don't remember the team specifically, but the night before that night, the 11th, the Hurricanes were supposed to play Boston in the first round of the playoffs. But the game before went to like 6 overtimes or 5 overtimes. I don't remember what it was, but it was crazy. The game kept going on. And if you don't know, hockey overtimes are 20 minutes each, so it went on forever. And so they postponed the Hurricanes game to the next day instead of starting it at like 11:30 or something like that East Coast time. They update us. They say what time the game is. It's like 10 a.m. I think is what it might have been, Eastern time. So I head over to their house, 10 a.m., where I get there around like 9:30-ish, and my mom has a hospice bed, if y'all don't know what that is. It's like a hospital bed just in our house where she was in the living room so she could watch TV and all that. My dad would sleep on the couch, and so I get there, thought it was just a normal day. I go and lay down on the couch because I stay up late because I game and whatnot, and I'm laying on the couch watching like all the pregame stuff, and my Nana's sitting in the chair next to me, which is right next to my mom, holding her hand. And I remember her standing up, and at this point I didn't know any better. My Nana stands up and looks at me and says, "Will you hold your mom's hand for a little bit?" And she started crying. My Nana, that is. And she walked off. So I got up and just moved over and held her hand for probably an hour, 2 hours, I don't even know. And I kind of started realizing at that point. And then the game starts. We're watching for a little bit, and all of my mom's friends start coming over. And my dad came out of his office because he was constantly talking to nurses and stuff like that the entire day. He asked myself to go upstairs and watch the game upstairs, and we're watching the hockey game up there, and it's just waves of my mom's friends coming in. So friends we haven't seen in 10 years probably or more, people that I didn't even know, other teachers, because she taught 4th grade, so a bunch of different teachers were coming, and you know, it really set in quick for me what was going on. So eventually they all leave, and my dad calls us back down, and we're all sitting there. We all pull up chairs, sitting around my mom's bed. The hockey game's still on. Thankfully it went to double overtime, so kind of holding on to the string that, the double overtime helped her stay with us for a little while longer. And we're holding her hand. Her breathing's starting to get slow. My dad calls me over into the kitchen, which is not far away. It's 3 steps. And he just says, "Do you understand?" And I did. And he hugged me and he said, "I'm so sorry. I tried everything I could." And at that moment, I couldn't, there's nothing I could say. I had to comfort him. So I said how, we love him so much. We appreciate all the hard work he put in trying to get her better and try to beat the cancer. And, it was almost like the roles were reversed in that situation. And this whole time we're waiting on my papa, my mom's dad, to get here from Tennessee, because it happened so fast overnight that he wasn't even here. So he's driving. It's like a 5-hour drive. He's speeding the whole way, and he didn't make it in time. She took her last breath probably 3 minutes before he got there. And he came running in and fell to his knees crying. And I just know that she could still hear everything he was saying. And that was definitely a tough day, obviously. Anyways, back to more of how it affected me and whatnot. I've always been like a gamer and whatnot, so I kind of stay in my room, play games. I got a bunch of friends online and whatnot, but I don't go out and do a whole lot of things like normal people my age would. After she passed, we had her funeral that next weekend, well, the next Tuesday, and we had the weekend to prepare for it. And the funeral home told us we can only make a video that had up to 40 pictures, and we're like, there's no way we can capture her whole lifetime in 40 pictures. So I offered to do it myself, and I would just send them the video. They'd put the video on the screens and stuff. So like right after it happened, I went straight into constant edit mode, like 10 hours a day for the next 3 days, editing this video, which really shouldn't have taken me that long, but it was just, I mean, a lot of pauses from, you know, getting emotional and stuff. So I finished the video. We have the funeral. Of course, we're sitting around, well, actually back up a little bit. We're at our house, and the pastor comes over and says, does anyone want to speak at the funeral? And nobody wanted to, and I felt like, personally, I've never been to a funeral, so I didn't know how they would work. I felt like someone from the family needed to. So I volunteered to, because no one else was going to. And so then I had to write my whole speech. That took a while. Go to the funeral. I said the speech. And then after that, I moved back into that house with my dad for the next, like, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so, just so he wasn't by himself. I think that's kind of where the issue lied. Was my sister has her fiance, and she had 2 kids and a third one on the way, and you know, she had people that she lived with that and has friends and her job and everything. And my brother's got a bunch of friends, and he was in school. Now, granted, COVID, they didn't really have school, but he had a bunch of friends and people that were there for him. And all of my friends are all over the U.S. They're Texas, Georgia, Ohio. They're just Pennsylvania. They're just not here. So I didn't have any, like, way to release any emotions or anything like that. I don't know if emotions is the right word there, but I just kind of bottled up everything that was going on. And it just built and built and built and built, and got worse over time. And this wasn't something that was like new for the last like probably about 2 years at that point, but my just mental health had been going downhill quick. I felt like I was alone to an extent, even though I knew I wasn't, because I lived with my dad, but he was making new friends in the neighborhood and stuff, and because it was a new neighborhood that they had just moved into a year before, and he never really got out because he spent the whole time with my mom in the house. So he was making new friends, and then I just had no one, really. I'm definitely... that's the whole point of this series, is to see the improvement on that. We'll save more for throughout this series, but we'll get into the whole series and what it's going to be about now. Try to cheer up the mood just a little bit. So 13.1 is the series name. I don't really know how I'm going to go about it. I've never really thought about doing... I've thought about it, but I've never really tried something like this, so I don't really know how it's going to go over. But 13.1 is the distance of a half marathon. And Raleigh, which is... I live in Durham, but Raleigh is right next to us. It's called the City of Oaks, is like the nickname of it. And there's the City of Oaks half marathon on November 7th, which is 3 days before what would have been my mom's 50th birthday, which happens to also be my brother's birthday and my nephew's birthday. They're all 3 born on November 10th. So I felt like, even though I can't directly give her a birthday present, I felt like the best type of birthday present I could give her is just like, because I know she's watching down on myself and everyone in the family. I felt like the best present I could give her was showing her that I'm getting better. I feel better physically, mentally, everything. Getting more active, and really I just want to set a goal out of running that half marathon and doing it, and just give myself something to be proud of for myself. And that's the goal here. So we're gonna upload a video. I say we, it's just me. I'm gonna upload a video every Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern. Hopefully I can get them all out. We have a trip to Alaska planned. So maybe there's a week or two I missed, but I got a whole schedule. I'll get it real quick, 1 second. Can y'all see this? Okay, so here's the whole schedule. So this is how many weeks we have. There's 21 weeks from the day this is going uploaded until the half marathon on that Sunday. So that gives me about 21 weeks to prepare for it. I have not been physically active. I have not been in the healthiest. I just haven't been the healthiest over the last, a long time. So, I'm going to stick with this. I've got it printed out on a poster. I'm going to put it up in my room and mark off each box as I go through. So I'm going to start. It's going to be 4 days a week. I'm going to run. We start 1 mile. So the blue is just like a normal easy run, take it how I want it, fast, slow, whatever. The red will be, it's just 1 mile all the way through on Fridays. That is a time mile, see how much my mile time can improve over the next 21 weeks. And the green at the bottom is the long run each week, which will be every Sunday. So it starts at 2 miles it's every 2 weeks it'll go up another mile. So 2 miles the first 2 weeks, 3 miles the next 2 weeks, 4 miles, and it goes like that all the way up until 10, and then 10 miles, and then 11, 12, and then the next one is the half marathon, which is 13.1 miles. So I got that plan in place. I'm gonna try my best to stick to it. I think I can do it. It gives me a goal to work towards, and I'll be in the right mindset hopefully, and it'll force me to get healthier and be more active, and in turn that should help me be happier. For one, that's the biggest thing. Be healthier and just make all the family proud and whatnot, and achieve this goal of mine. So tune in next Sunday. We will have, I keep saying we, it's just me. Tune in next Sunday. I will have the first episode out. Hopefully it goes pretty well. I appreciate everyone that's going to be watching this video. If you have any supportive messages or any experiences of your own of doing something like this, leave it down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. I would really appreciate that. It'll really help me get extra motivation throughout this journey. But I appreciate everyone joining in for the video today, so I hope you all have a great one. I'll see you next week.